Thanks for coming along. Be sure to like and share. Don't forget about the No Name Nationals that's coming up in September. You know, why fix something if it's not broke? So I thought we would just go ahead and put the new spark plugs in, the new wires, and I bought a new coil. So, like I said, after praying about it and everything, I went and got some parts, but that's what we're going to do. I got to be honest with you, this thing is kicking my butt. Ford, a better idea. Welcome to RCindustry. Well, hey, it's Rick here, and today we're back on the old limelateda. I got to be honest with you, this thing is kicking my butt. You know from the last video that we had it running, we had it up here by the garage, we were buffing on it, I came out the next day and then it wouldn't start at all. So I fooled with it and got it running, but then it runs erratically, you know, and it's like it's flooding or it's not firing on all cylinders and, you know, just a mess. So my son and I worked on it Saturday because we wanted to take it to the car show, which you probably heard me mention in the last video if you watched it. And we could get it to run, but like I said, it was running erratically. We pulled the plugs, found that the spark is very orange, and it's not sparking between the electrode and the little thing here. It's kind of doing to the side, and it's like the porcelain centers and the plugs are all cracked. And so I'm thinking that there's some issues with that. Now, I do know a little bit about this DuraSpark system. I've dealt with these over the years, not recently because I haven't had an old Ford product with the DuraSpark system in it, but I have worked with it in the past, so I know that if you have juice leaking out of the bottom of the brain box, that's usually a bad sign. And in an earlier video, that was the case, and this thing was running bad, so we bought a new brain box and put in there. But generally, it won't run at all if that thing is bad. So I'm going to check all the connections on all of the DuraSpark plug-in things from the distributor all the way back to the brain box itself. So we're going to do that today. I bought some new spark plugs. I bought some new wires because both are just not good. Though I don't care for the Excel plugs anyway, I never did. And they're, like I said, they're all just, they look like they've been, you know, heated up with a torch or something. I'm not sure how they can get so hot looking. But anyway, so I bought some Autocraft plugs, which everybody will hate that, but that's what the car calls for. I'm trying to get back to the basics here, so we're going to start with what it calls for. And I also bought a new coil. Now, a lot of people will tell me that a coil will either work or it won't work, but I have found in the past that's not always true. It could be sending some high power through the center, but it could be that the part of the coil, you know, it could be that it's not putting out the full potential. So, like I said, after praying about it and everything, I went and got some parts, but that's what we're going to do. I probably will just show in and outs of what I'm doing to this today. I want to try to get this done. I also bought a new fuel filter, although I have taken the fuel filter loose and the fuel runs straight through from the tank. I want to rule out that it doesn't have a fuel issue. We took the carburetor off in the last video, and you know, the float, everything was working in it. However, the bowl was not full when I took the top off the carburetor, which I thought was kind of odd. So it could be that little economizer valve or whatever that is in the bottom of that 2-barrel. That could be leaking through and causing it to flood. I don't know if that's what it's doing. So again, I really just don't know, but this is a last-ditch effort to try to do something and get this thing running. So anyway, thanks for coming along. I've talked long enough. Let's get to it. Show you more. Okay, so the idea is to, first thing is to verify that this bowl will hold fuel, and to rule out the fact that perhaps, you know, the jet in the bottom is something's wrong with it or whatever. So, because right now it doesn't have any fuel in it at all. So let's fill this bowl up, and it's got fuel in it, but it looks like it's leaking down. I don't know. We'll come back and look at that in just a minute and see. Okay, so it's been less than a minute and you can see all of that fuel is gone. So that tells me that something, this little doogie whopper down here is bad or something. So we're going to pull the carburetor back off of it and we're going to check that out. Alright, show you more. Okay, so every bit of that, I don't know if you can tell, but that's just completely soaked. So every bit of that went down into that intake manifold. So that would explain why it sounds like it's flooding. And I should have checked that to start with, being that I knew that the level in the bowl was not there. And I verified in the last time we worked on it that the fuel was actually getting into the bowl, but it wasn't staying there. So I should have thought about that. Sorry for all the noise. I mean, every time I am over here filming, there's always someone mowing. This is the mowingest neighborhood I've ever seen. Okay, well, we got the cover off of that, and that thing is blown out. I don't know if you can see it. Let me get you down in here where you can see that. Okay, you can see the little rubber diaphragm is just ruptured right there. So I can't remember if that's called an economizer valve or I don't know. By the time you guys comment on it all, I've already replaced it. But whatever that is, that thing is not in good shape. And let's remember, this is not a brand used carburetor. This is a brand new carburetor. So anyway, it just depends on the quality of the product you buy. And obviously for $79, including shipping, this is not a quality product. So you live and learn. All right, show you more. Well, I stand corrected. This is called a power valve, and I should have known that. I don't know what's wrong with me. So this is the one that came out of this carburetor, and then this is the one that came out of the old carburetor. This one is still good, and I really don't see too much difference in them, other than this one's got a screw, which I don't know what you would try to adjust with that. That doesn't make any sense to me, so I don't know. By the way, there's two options. I went down to Denny's Auto. There's two options. So we're unsure which one we need because this is China made, and so who knows. So I had him order me both. But for now, since this one's still good, I think we're going to see if we can put that in there and get the car to run. I don't know. Alright, show you more. Okay, so I just want to verify that that old power valve is going to hold the fluid in the bowl here. So let's put some gas in here. And then we'll kind of look down here on the bottom of this, and we'll make sure it's not leaking out of the bottom of that. I don't see anything. I believe that's the problem, guys. Okay, so it looks like that's the problem. So I've got a power valve ordered, and yes, it's called a power valve. I don't know why I called it an economizer valve. There's probably one of them in there somewhere too. I don't know. Anyway, I got one ordered. Actually, I ordered one like the old one and one like the new one. I don't know if I already told you that. But here's what we're going to do. We're just going to kind of put on hold till that part comes in tomorrow. Because if this one's good, this power valve here's good, but it's not the right one or the right spring tension or something, I don't know. Anyway, so let's just wait till the part comes in tomorrow, and then we'll decide whether we're going to put the new one in there or put the old one in there or what we're going to do. Alright, show you more. Okay, well, day 2, and we're back here. Still don't have the power valve in yet, but it's not supposed to be in here till about noon. So I thought we would just go ahead and put the new spark plugs in, the new wires, and I bought a new coil because the spark is weak regardless to whether it's running right or not. And by the way, I put the old power valve back in that carburetor, the one I had on the old carburetor, and the car runs fine. So, but you know, it's still, the spark is very, very weak. So I want to fix that correctly. So anyway, I'll bring you in whenever I get some of the plugs out, because I want to show you these old plugs. Show you more. Okay, so we're going to start over here with number 5, because you know, you wouldn't want to start with number 1. I'm going to pull this old Excel plug out of here, and then I'll show you the difference between the spark plugs that the engine calls for. These things look like they're out of something like a lawnmower. Okay, so here's what we got. So there's the difference in the plugs. Now the amount that's down in the block or in the head is the same, but you know, there's a big difference there. And I don't know if you can see this very well, but that thing is really, I don't know if it's, I don't want it to focus too good, but yeah, really dirty. So we're going to set these at 46, 42 to 46. So these are 44, yeah. So this is set at 44, and we're going to put these all in. And as we do it, we're going to put on our new spark plug wires and get rid of these old Excel wires. These super stock, whatever these are, 8mm. Yeah, let's just get rid of that too. All right, show you more. Alright guys, well that fixed it right up. It's running real good now. So still got to get that new power valve put in, so I'll show you that when it comes in. Okay, well, power valve's in. This is the old one. I just went ahead and bought both of them. And we'll just kind of look at them here. Let's see here. Let's get that one out of there. Don't tell the wife I'm laying things on her trunk lid of her car. Okay, so this one actually has a funky kind of gasket for some reason. So this one, if you remember right, has this screw thing in the top of it for whatever reason. Not sure why that is. This one looks like it. More so, and it doesn't have anything in the top of it. This one's even closer, and it starts to have a little line in it like a screw hole, but what do you need that screw thing for? It's not adjustable. Okay, well obviously I could put one of these new ones in, but since I put the one in off of the old carburetor and it's working just fine, you know, why fix something if it's not broke? You know, we make things just like brand used here. And what better to be brand used than a used power valve in a carburetor? So anyway, but we're going to keep these on hand. It's real easy to change out if it, you know, if it does it again, I'm going to know exactly what we got. Both of these say they have a little number 4 on them. The one I put in out of the other carburetor was a number 6, and this one doesn't have anything written on it in this little area right here. So don't know what number this one is. My dad was telling me that each one of those numbers designates the spring tension on this for the vacuum, you know, so when you mash it and it opens up and lets that fuel run in there real quickly to kind of overcompensate for the amount of fuel you need when you're going to rev it up. So that's my understanding of how it works. You can bleep bloop it, as Derek would say, down below and tell me what you think, but I know now what was wrong with it, and I probably should have known that all along, but you know, sometimes you forget things. So anyway, thanks for coming along. Be sure to like and share. Don't forget about the No Name Nationals that's coming up in September. And as always, we're making it just like brand used here, baby. Run, Tallulah, run! Hi, baby.